Well, here I am, Leon C., aka Morpheus. In this fascinating lesson today in the Academy of Wow Men, I have a lesson that is referred to as Ralph the Dog here. And we're going to circle around Ralph the Dog for a moment because the conversation is going to point to why I have these mascots in my academy. You know, Ralph the Dog, I have the Dodo Bird, and then there's the Sloth who's always rejected, and the three girls. I know I'm missing one somewhere, but they come and go. I had a very wise elder tell me years ago when I was in my growing boy days. And they said, if I needed an answer, I needed to turn down the music to listen. What do they mean by that? What did they mean by turning down the music so you can listen? Well, you know how when you in your house may be alone, or maybe you might be the only one awake at night, where everybody is asleep. You may hear some snorings here and there, but if they don't snore, thank God, then the house is very quiet. You can actually hear the house creaking and settling. You can hear things that you never heard before. You hear stuff downstairs in the kitchen. If you're upstairs, you hear steps in the attic. You hear things in the back door. If you have a garage that's connected to your house, you will hear practically everything. Almost as if you have a ghost in your house or somebody's walking around. And sometimes the noise seems so real, so accurate, as if somebody's actually there. It even startles you. But why is this? Why? Because, you know, we're not talking about the house. We're talking about when you are able to hear, you will hear what you normally don't hear. See, during the day, the house is still doing that. It's still making noises. You know, the wooden stairs are still creaking. You can still hear the pipes every now and then, or maybe you might hear the water boiler boiling the water. When the air conditioner turns on and off, you can hear the electrical current going through its closed and open circuit. You can't go through open circuit, but you can go through closed circuit. I think that open circuit is when it's not connected. Closed circuit is when it's actually you have a flow going through. But you can hear it. You can hear that. And so in multiple people's lives, my Neils of the world, oftentimes we don't want to hear because we are so distracted. We are distracted with everything that's going on with our kids. We're distracted with our wives, or maybe even our husbands. We are distracted with the television on all the time. There are some people who can't sleep without the television or the radio on or next to them. They can't sleep without something playing on their dumb phone next to them while they're sleeping. They need to hear noise. If you don't hear noise, you don't hear sound in the background, you have to face. You have to face reality. And not many people are willing to do that. Now, the footwork has been made. If you don't understand what I just told you, then you are your own problem. And I suggest you go get some help. Because what I'm basically telling you is, in order to hear what is true and what is not true, you have to hone in into peace, quiet, silence, emptiness of self. I think that, and I could be wrong, but I think that I remember a statement by Bruce Lee. He said, in order to get to the next stage, you have to empty yourself. You have to empty yourself. Emptying yourself to get rid of the distraction, to loosen up your stress. What is on your mind? What's on your heart? This burden, to empty yourself. Be like water. Empty. Water flows. Water goes with the current. Water is shapeable, malleable. But it also adapts too. And it survives because it adapts. But however, in this case, not to get so philosophical and deep in this discussion, even though you expect that from my reputation, it's hard to, let me say it like this. There is none so blind as to those who will not see, and I add on to it, cannot see. There is none so blind as to he who cannot see. Why do I say this? Because we're in a distracted, see, the world that you live in, I made an audio, and I'm always going to refer you to the audios to give you reference, based on emotions, based on the number one things that keep people bound, things that creates the dynamic of distortion. There's another thing. I've been telling this before, but it makes sense today. It's called distraction. It's called being distracted. Let me take a drink on this because I'm getting ready to go in. My drink of today, whether you want to accept it or not, is a tea. I'm actually drinking on some raw, organic mango drink. Complete hydration. This stuff is great. It has electrolytes, vitamins, antioxidants, and a full list of benefits. And like I said, it's organic. And it's wonderful. And it works quite well. See, some of the drinks that I drink, you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised that some people, when they talk about drinks or health or something like that, or pills or proteins, they never really tried it out. They're just trying to advertise it. These things that I'm telling you about, I've tried them. I will go and exhaust myself in the gym, or go for a long jog, or do some bike riding. I'll go run my dog around the corner for a little bit. The dog will be exhausted, and I will still be sitting there looking at the dog like, that's all you can do? And the dog's sitting there panting, needing water. And I'm like, well, I'm ready to go another mile. And the dog's like, I need some more water. I go, okay. Let's go back home and give you some water, because these drinks, they pretty much supplement. Okay. Now, let me get back to the lesson here. I don't want to go too far out here. Just a little example where you need to stop drinking your pops. Stop drinking your carbonated drinks and your high fructose corn syrup and your poisons that you go to the gas stops to drink. But you know what? It's your prerogative, because the doctor will be waiting for you to diagnose you with diabetes that you're working so hard to get, and every other health complications that you are willing to sign up for, because you have no excuse. There are thousands of health drinks and health places and benefits and obvious health food stores that are available to you. But if you want to be the dodo, and make yourself sick, be my guest. Because the industries make money off of idiots. Okay, be my guest. And I'm not going to jump off the subject here, but this kind of reminds me of a gentleman and I'm going to discuss that in one of my other audios, have the nerve to tell me, your health guru, the dude who is out here eating the protein, drinking the drinks, in the gyms, doing training people, martial arts, jogging, talking about organic foods, Indian life, is going to tell me that eating healthy is pointless. And ladies and gentlemen, this comes from a guy who, we're going to talk about it because it's going to be fire. It's going to be a really good audio. This is coming from a guy who already was in the hospital for health complications. And he gonna tell me, well, Leon C., it don't matter if you eat healthy or not. You know, you're still gonna be eliminated from the face of the planet. My response was, well, okay, you want to go that route? First of all, I don't know who you're dealing with, but that's okay. I'll tell you this, okay? It's just like that candy that you used to eat years ago, either now or later, okay? Simple as that. You eat unhealthy, okay? And you can go ahead and sign your final check to God and make your way to the so-called pearly gates immediately, or you can wait as long as possible and extend your life. It's your choice. You don't argue with an idiot. If you argue with an idiot, you're going to become an idiot yourself by arguing with them. You're an idiot by wasting your time. Okay? Dumb. Why would you have these? Let me stop, because y'all get the drift. Health warning signs outside of cigarettes and alcohol telling you that you can't drive machines and it's going to cause health complication if it didn't matter if you took care of yourself or not. Some people are... I'm going to jump off of this. I got to tell you, half the American people here, half of them, I can actually say in confidence, half the American population and civilians are on some type of medication, and some of them aren't on medication. They're just walking zombiac, sick people who have gone undiagnosed. If you're not paying attention to the news and everything around you and how America is being demolished from the inside out, we have some dumb people. We got people who really need some help. And it's only going to get worse because America is learning how to patch up stupidity and praise bad behavior. We praise bad behavior, but we want to destroy good behavior. You know, we want to get rid of people who are talking good and talking the truth and trying to bring awareness to the world in health and life. But yet we praise those who want to sell a poison pill. We praise those who are ignorant. We praise those who you know is a menace to the society. So you don't have to no longer say, God, that guy's crazy or that girl's crazy. Why did that person do this? Well, I'm telling you here and now, more than half of the people that you see, they're on something. And you will never know until you get to know them or have a conversation with them. And you end up walking on the opposite side of the street. Because you soon realize that these people are out of their mind. Because they are. Their mind does not belong to them. They are zombies. Now, getting back onto the subject. Okay? Thanks for your patience. I've warned men and women, but that's a totally different. Talking to women about this situation is almost like climbing up Mount Everest backwards without water or anything to drink, talking to them, because they don't seem to understand this for some strange reason. And I know the reason, because a lot of them can't be alone. They was raised up like that, and they're just so used to being in their social circles, because some women are social butterflies, and being alone is the hardest thing they can ever do, because they feel like, I said feel like it's too difficult to do. Okay? But for the men, some of them can understand this. When you turn down the noise, what did I just say before? You have no excuse. I've explained myself. When you turn down the noise, when you put aside all the distractions, when you focus on the simple necessities of your life, the simple requirements of your life, and you focus forward and you you put the blinders on your eyes or your soul or your heart, and you focus ahead, you will see things that others cannot see. I told you, none is so blind than he who cannot see. Or, in addition, you could say, will not see. They will not see because they have bound themselves down in a demonic sort of bondage that I'm going to discuss in a moment. See, I've learned, because I go around, you know, I'm everywhere. I speak to people, families, and all that sort of thing. I have to explain myself, what I do. I talk, okay? And I encounter men all the time who decided to say, happy wife, happy life, I do. And they get married, and they've been married for like 25 to almost 30-something years. Yeah, there's still some out there. It is. I've came across them. As a matter of fact, one of them have inspired this audio. I won't be saying this if it wasn't for them opening up their donkey mouth. Okay? Because the discussion it's always going to be this. See, when I'm speaking to people, it's always going to be a deep discussion. It may be short, it's going to be sweet, maybe 5 minutes, 2 minutes, but you're going to get something out of the interaction when you deal with me. You're going to get something. There's going to be a moment, or I never thought of it that way, or interesting, and I'm not going to hold back. I'm not one of those scary people who say, oh, you shouldn't talk like that in public. And, oh, my God, somebody's listening to you. And, oh, my goodness, we don't talk. Oh, my God, I'm afraid. Oh, my goodness. You shouldn't be saying those kind of things in front of people. Oh, my God, we're supposed to say that in secret. No, I'm not like you. I'm not a beta. Okay? No, I am who I am through and through. Got a problem? Jump. Always got a fly swatter right there. It's done. Over. Game over. But the fact of the matter is, listen, he cannot see. What do I mean? What is Morpheus saying? See, I know that when you bind yourself to a constant world of you're busy, you're in your business, you're always going, you got places to do, people to spend time with, and there's always noise in the background, you can't see what the delusions are, the delusions that are put before you. You may think you do, but you don't. You can't. No way. You can't. You cannot focus on what is real and what is not real when you are chained down to a marriage. Oh, somebody's going to... Y'all. Oh, somebody's not going to like me today. Y'all not going to like me today. Y'all not going to like me. Because I'm going to tell it like it is. Because I know I can hear y'all now. Well, I'm married and I've been married for like 15 years. And I don't know what you're talking about. And, I was just, I know I'm no more than you. What are you talking about? You don't know what you're talking about. Marriage is the most wonderful thing in the world. No, listen. Listen carefully. And put your panties back on, okay? Or take them off, dude. Okay? And exchange your jeans for something called masculine. Okay? Put on some boxers and act like a man. And listen to what I got to say. Listen. There's nothing better than to sit and to listen, to embrace the world alone. I'm not saying be alone. I'm saying to staff out and see it for yourself. See, if you got a wife at home, you got a responsibility. You got somebody who's going to call you. She's going to call you. She's going to need you. There's going to be an interaction between you and her eventually. Whether you go out of town, you go out on a boat, you go to a vacation, whatever you do, she's there. And she's not going to wait for you to a whole 2 weeks, a week and a half to call you back. She's gonna want to know what's going on. Either FaceTime, text you, or email you, one way or the other. And you're not really alone. You're not really in the threshold of, okay, let me give y'all a story real fast and I'm gonna get back onto this. This is a story. It's a real story, actually. And it's fair use. It's a real thing. And I think I think I had a list for you. Gosh, I had to pull it up. Let me go ahead and just give it to you by my mind, and later on I might see if I can find this for you. There was an audio that was made by Peter Sprunk, Peter B. Sprunk, or something like that. And it was, I think the title was called The Last Tribe or The Last Indians or something like that. Yeah, you know I'm all about that. But anyhow, yeah, it was like The Last Tribe or something. But in it, there was a woman called White Owl. A very wise old woman called White Owl. And there was a growing boy named Fire Dancer, but his name was actually Fire Dancer. Anyhow, listen. And one day when going back and forth talking to White Owl, because she was always alone. She was always in her own hut doing her own thing, and she was a very spiritual woman. Truly spiritual. And he asked her, he said, "Why are you alone? How don't you get lonely? Why are you alone? Don't you have any kids, and don't you want to be married, and where's your husband, and what's going on?" She wasn't a witch, mind you. I know what y'all thinking. No, she wasn't a witch. Shut your mouth. No, I'm talking about real. See, I understand y'all have a hard time understanding natural people because you're so used to medicating yourself with VACs and pills and medications and all kind of poisons that they give you from the American doctor. I get it. I understand. It's hard for you to understand. I know you have a hard time, diving into the organic, natural realm of existence because we're so into being a transhuman. It's not even funny. I understand. There are natural people in the world. No, herbalists dealing with natural allopathic medicines, doing things naturally. Okay. In the tribe, that's what she did. She was spiritually connected to the universe. Y'all wouldn't understand that. Indian nature, culture type of stuff. Anyhow. So, she said something to him that I'm going to share with you. And some of you may know this. You could do your research, and I have to give you the right title of it. But she said, "The reason why is power will not let me. Power will not let me be distracted. Because if I had a family, if I had a husband," and she did explain to him that she tried it. She tried it before, but the universe, her power would not allow her to remain that way forever. What that means is a higher calling. Is somebody getting my drift here, or do I got to explain it? A higher calling, meaning there's a higher calling in her spirit that if there was somebody there, they will be a distraction to the voice in the wind. Now, I know it's contrary to some of you thinking, well, you got to have a wife in order for God to honor you. And, it's just traditional to do. And to be a Baptist or to be a minister or to be higher up in the corporation, I got to get married. You know what? I'm going to give you one of these. You're forgetting you're going by your modern day mindset, ladies and gentlemen. You're going by the system of programmed protocol where you think you have to do in order to get to the next stage, because a lot of us love to be sheep, not self-thinking individuals. That's your damn problem, not Morpheus's. In real life, ladies and gentlemen, it's about your individual path that you need to take to be your higher self. To be your higher self, sometimes you got to break away from other people. To be your higher self, to free your full potential, you have to move away from that which is hindering you. Now, I'm not talking about people who today, yeah, we need families. We need men and women to come together because there's a crisis going on. There's a hidden civil war between man and woman. Whether you want to accept it or not, that's just the way that it is. Okay? And if you don't pay attention to what's going on in the world, if you think that I'm flopping, okay? But the fact of the matter is, it's gone overboard, and balance is everything. Balance is important. Balance is vital, and we have lost our balance today. Okay? It is overblown that there are single mothers. It's overblown that there are broken families. It's overblown that we are just manipulating each other and trying to use each other for what we can get out of the game. You understand? So I'm not saying that that's what we need to do. I'm saying as individuals in its percentages. Okay? There is a higher calling, not for everybody, but a few people that it even can be you. If you stop being distracted, if you disconnect yourself from that which is pushing you into a laborious lifestyle where you're constantly on the move, when you stop, you can hear things that you never heard before. There are men who was in a very bad marriage. He didn't want to be there anyway, but he tried to make it work. You know the story. Trying to be diligent, patch up all the pieces to put the fire out wherever there's a fire. And he was a very unhappy man, but he was sticking to his obligations. But the day she finally decided to sever the ties, albeit he agreed reluctantly, because men aren't usually the ones that walk away. It's usually women at an 80% rate. Do your statistics that walk away, not men. He said at first he struggled with the idea that his wife wasn't there, and he had to bear the loneliness on his own and try to patch his life back together. But eventually, over time, as the months and the years have gone past, he noticed that he'd gotten better. He noticed that his hair grew back. I'm telling you, real life, this is real, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not playing with you. This is real. He was less stressed. He had more time to himself. He was able to enjoy his hobbies much more. He got into a higher spiritual realm of himself. He was free to go and be wherever he wanted to without her being a hindrance, because she was a hindrance. And I know what y'all saying. Just cut it out before you even come out of your mouth. Okay? Been there, done that, and had this conversation with many of people like you. No, it wasn't because he was with the wrong person. So you flush that down the toilet. Of course he was with the wrong person. No, it was the fact that he was distracted. See, you're not understanding what I'm trying to say. There is a growth that you have to achieve. You can be with the right person who can help you and inspire you physically and maybe even financially, or maybe help you with your business, but you still have an internal affair that needs to be accomplished first. You still have an inner mind and an inner spirit that needs to see reality for what it is. Let me give you another example. I know a minister who, of course, got married, and they've been in a decent marriage. They've been together for quite some time, okay? And they have 2 lovely children. And of course, as marriage goes, it's always rocky. There's going to be up and downs, uncertainty, right? There's going to be your headaches, your days of disagreements and misunderstanding. But they worked out quite well. But with this guy, here's the problem. Here is the problem. He didn't seek anything higher or even question his focus point on what he was teaching people, even when it was wrong. It was wrong. Yes, it was wrong. I can tell you that now. But he didn't want to take positive criticism. He didn't second guess himself. He did not seek the higher realm of what this world has to offer him, because he put a cap on himself, because of the distraction. Because who can tell him anything about hypergamy? Who can tell him anything about what's going on between man and woman? Who can tell him anything about the higher realm of the godly expectations of the world when he is settled in his programming? It's almost like this. You're a cup, okay? And I'm filling you up with water. And you are a very large cup, actually, gallon. I mean, a really huge gallon of cup. But you got levelers on there. And so the water is being poured in. Then all of a sudden, first of all, you're going through a program situation, because I've discussed this before. The program situation is being able to defy, talk about, or analyze how you've been raised. Analyze the years between 1 and 18 years of age to see if what your parents, your grandparents, and other people have told you as a child is true. You got to test that out so you don't bring that programming into your adult years. That means sometimes you have to recreate yourself. Sometimes you have to unlearn what you have learned. Do I make myself clear? Okay? And so at a certain point, when a person is still being filled with life's experience and what the universe have to offer, and the higher spiritual acclamation of themselves, that water's being poured in. Here comes a wife, or here comes a girlfriend. Here comes distraction. Here comes what you think life is. Here comes your lower mind, your lower frequency of a lower, very much uneducated expectation, when there's room to grow. There's more you can do for yourself. There's more to see. There's more to acquire. So instead of seeking higher, instead of doing better, instead of waiting, him and a whole lot of other people, probably by the sound of my voice, I'm sure, settles right there in that programming and say, this is what I am supposed to do because it's traditional, it's the right thing to do. I don't know who the hell told you it was the right thing to do, but you just say it's the right thing to do. As if you was born with a guiding book next to you or something, or some type of protocol connected to the back of your spinal cord. But I guess it's true for some of you programmed zombies. But however, you do just that. And if it is accomplished correctly, and you got this wife, you got these kids, and you just have this every day, I'm going to work a 9-to-5 job, you put a cap on yourself. And how you put that cap on yourself is this. And I've discussed it in another audio, but I'm just breaking it down a little differently here. Listen. There's room to grow. There's room. There's still more water pouring in, but when it does, you will not accept it, because knowledge brings evolution. Evolution brings a change, and a change brings a bending of your reality. And you can't do that staying at a neutral level. This is how some marriages fall out of each other. This is how people fail in their relationship. This is how families end up distorted, because some way or the other, one person begin to realize that there is a lot more to be had. There's something else, that something is missing. There is something that they need to. This is why in one of my discussions, I have explained to you before, if you're going to be married, if you're going to be in a relationship, you're going to have to grow together and discuss it with your partner. If you're going to accept the knowledge to be poured into you, to evolve mentally, spiritually, and to see the universe for what it is, and to evaluate what you thought you knew, you're going to have to pull your partner with you. You're going to have to discuss it with her. You're going to have to tell her what the hell is going on. But because there's too many betas, because there's too many soft men, because America is ran by guys who have changed their genetics from masculine to feminine. They have this, I am going to go along to get along. And then he rather stay in a limited mindset, a limited fraction or fractured reality, and accept it for what it is and never challenge it and stay stuck right there. It's not to say that your woman won't ride with you. She would and she can if you are the right type of man. And if you know how to talk, if you act like you got some damn sense, then maybe she will. If you stop acting like a retard beta, then maybe she will listen to what you got to say. But these men draw out the relationship or the marriage for so long. There's nothing else to. She's not interested anymore. There's nothing else to hold on to. By the time he talking about, let's go do something different, and I want to go do this, and I have a different mindset, and can we, I'm thinking we should. She's gonna be like, please, dude. I'm done with you. By the time you end up changing your whistle or your saxophone, she's on to a different band. Or she's been dealing with the drum major before you even realized it. She was messing with the drum major before you decided to make a change in your relationship. And a lot of you grow for the wrong reason. It's not an enlightenment of the universe. It's just you just figured out that you still had you still had peach fuzz underneath your chin. And she wasn't what you really wanted. Or he wasn't what you really wanted. And you just now figured it out. Wow. Aren't we smart people today? That's why you have to wait, or at least know what you're getting yourself into. If you're going to make your damn bed, you should lay in it. I can't stand ignorant people. That just bothers me. Oh my God. People who, listen, my fans and people who know me out here in the personal world, they will tell you to your face and warn you, don't you come around Morpheus talking stupid. Don't you do it, because he don't. That's the last thing you want to do is start talking stupid. People, let me stop. Let me stop. I understand we're just human. I get it. I understand. We're not perfect and we're still growing to understand ourselves. But this information is not new, Dodo Bird. It's not new. You know you're supposed to be responsible for your decisions. You know what you're doing when you walk down the aisle and say, I do. Or I do, Dodo Bird, I do. You know full well that there is going to be a future eventually. You know it. That's why I don't mind the age gap. I don't mind her being younger and him being older, because he at least have a vision. He at least understands how the world works. At least he can at least see things for what it is. But when she's younger, she can't really see everything. But when you have two of the same age, it's like two blind mice. Oh, I'm 25. You're 25. Let's get together. And then there's still water pouring in. Oh, goodness. And then you break up. Or you get divorced. He wasn't the one. Here we go. Here's the famous thing that people say. This is one of the top 10 things and reasons people will tell you why they got a divorce or why they broke up with their boyfriend or girlfriend. They wasn't what I thought they was. They changed on me. Are y'all adults or damn children? glory be to the universe. But y'all be eating milk bones for breakfast or something. It's not difficult to understand. But I understand I do understand, overstand, when you get into your emotions, you don't think straight, you start drinking too many Jägermeisters, and you smoking on the wrong pipe, you get piped. And then you have to be responsible for it, and now you have to crawl yourself out of the hole, like Batman Rises. Ridiculous. Because the bane of your ignorance come around and actually body slam you and break your back. And now you got to figure it out all over again. When you got wise people like myself and others explaining it to you as easy as we can and as simple as we can. None is so blind as to he who will not see or can not see. And you cannot see when there's too much noise around you. And sometimes when you go to work, it's not enough to get away from your husband or a wife. Sometimes when you go out on vacation, it's not enough. You need time. You need time. And the reason, and here's another thing, because I know I have said a few of you, I'm used to doing that. If you don't know who I am, I irritate. Sorry for your feelings, but I'm not. I've explained this before in another audio, that if a woman really wants to make herself available and sensible and right for her husband or new boyfriend that she wants to be committed to, then she have to go a while without being distracted by other guys. That means she's going to have to leave the sausage alone. That means she have to stop going to girls' night out. That means she have to stop walking around in yoga pants, take off those ridiculous looking tattoos and nose rings, and keep your hair back to the original color the way it's supposed to be. And she won't figure that out until she has time. She needs time. But women don't give themselves time. See, I can sit here and tell you this all day. I can tell you all day if I want to. I can sit here and say, sweetheart, those yoga pants aren't working for you. Or stretch pants, or pants you need to be wearing in the house. You can't tell me how to dress, and you can. Oh, sweetheart, Instagram ain't gonna save you. The OnlyFans is gonna crush you and your future. You can't tell me this, and yeah, more. I heard what you gotta say. How you sit here and talk to me like that? Who the hell? That's what she'll be like. Exactly. But it would not matter until she have to see it for herself. Give her some time, or give yourself some time. Go out there and have as much fun as you want to. It is a guarantee you're going to come across two people that you don't like. Yeah, I said it. Two people. Are you ready? You're going to come across the beta, who is nothing but hungry for sexual attention because he don't get any. He's soft, and women run circles around him, and he'll do anything to get in your DMs or in anything else. Okay? And he will not lead you anywhere, and he will allow you to do whatever you want to do, even running into the brick wall 100 miles per hour because he's a beta. And the second person, you're going to run into Mr. Pump and Dump. He's not going to tell you that, oh, what you got on is not, it's not culture, it's not cool. You know, it's not ladylike. You should be acting, oh man, tattoos, I'm careless about that. Oh my goodness. Your hair, I want you to be natural. No, with him, you can dress however you want to, because you know what his plan is. Are you ready? Is to take a sip of your sweet wine and call it a day, where you'll never see him again. All he wanted to do was get what he wanted. And once his pleasure is done, you're done. An alpha dude won't deal with you. And eventually, you'll figure it out, lady. You're going to figure it out. Because during the year or year and a half period that you are single, or that you're playing the fiddle and you playing around with it, just having fun, girls' night out. Oh, this is so wonderful. I'm enjoying myself. You keep burning up your clock. You're going to run into Mr. Pump and Dump and Beta, Pump and Dump and Beta, Pump and Dump and Beta. Alpha is not going to be in a circle, and he's not interested in you, and you're not going to marry the alpha. Because you want to know why? Because he knows what you're all about. Can't bring no value to him because you did not build your value for the year and a half or the time that you spent alone. See, here's the thing. It's about healing. This isn't bashing anybody or talking bad about anybody. It's about healing. Did you hear what I just said? Am I telling you something that do I got to explain myself again? What did I say? More than half Americans are on something. Something's wrong with their head. And I was going to say something. I'm going to hold back. Ooh, don't say it. Oh, Leon C. Hold it. Whew. Whew, let me take a drink, because I was getting ready to Healing comes with time. Time heals, and there's therapy at the same time. Of course, therapy. But a lot of your issues is you. If you sit down and turn down the noise and the distractions, you can hear your own ignorance. You can hear whatever you believe in, your belief system. If you sit down, just sit down and study it. There's nothing better for a person to do. If they're going back and forth to church all the time and they're always getting a prayer, they're always going to the minister or the confession or whatever the hell, wherever you go, you're standing underneath the rainbows and putting aluminum foil hats on your hair and lighting candles, whatever the hell it is. If you step back away from it, you can see something. Step back and study it. Question yourself, say, hey, is this really what I think it is? Question that question that you have. Oh, I'm not so sure about this, but this is bothering me. This may be a contradiction, but I'm just gonna go along with it anyway. You can stop and actually listen to yourself say that by your actions and by your own facts that you deal with every day. So if you take that time, you go to the library, you read other books, listen to lecturers, listen to other people, listen to other religions, listen to what the scientists are saying, or some atheists. If you just hear them, listen, and don't get mad at them. Oh, you don't believe in God, and what are you talking about? No, just sit your funny tail down and just listen and study it for yourself. You're going to realize that there is light at the end of the tunnel. Something is going on. You cannot do that if you're busy fighting all the time. You can't do that if your wife is screaming in your ears all the time, or your kids. Or you always got somebody to go and see. You always want to go out of town. You can't sit down for a good hot second for nothing. But yet you got nerve to talk about you know everything. And you're smart because you got a PhD. I graduated from Harvard, and you can't tell me a thing. I got a McLaren outside, I got like 2 mansions, and no, you're still a dummy. You are still a dummy. You're just a grown child. You don't know. You don't know anything. You can't know until you study it. You gotta. One of my senseis taught me this. And I shouldn't be sharing this, but I'm going to, because I'm having a hard time holding it back anyway. I had a hard time when it came to my martial arts. I don't know what y'all do today. My stuff was real. It was uncomfortable, and it was real. And I'm just going to keep it like that. I was a hard-headed boy with anger. I think I've told you a story like this before. And I had problems getting along with other people sometimes. it's just the alpha in me. I can't help it. It's just always the lion roaring, basically. And not trying to be that way. Just the type of person who's, if you step wrong, there's problems. Don't even look at me across the room like you got a problem. Then you know that's it. I'm suspended from school. And the point of the matter is, when getting into martial arts, the sensei was very, very calm. And I was standing before him, telling him I know everything. Yeah, I can karate kick and I can fit and I can do all this. What do you know about life, son? I know this about life. Here I'm standing in front of 16 years old. And I was a little, what do you call that? Aggravated. And so we went on a trip one day in the van. And I'm still thinking I know everything. And, got a few other students in there. And it was a nice summer day, too. I can never forget. And there was some tall trees everywhere. Tall trees and open land. Almost like a farmland. You got all these trees out there. But they were trees. Not open clearing. And he said, we're gonna park right here, and everybody had to sit in a circle. He said, you go out there, and he showed me and walked me over there. Sit right here, fold your legs, Indian style. You should be accustomed to that, but Indian style. And you sit here. You sit here, and just think. Just sit here. We'll be over here. Talking and eating. And so they was like in a clearing a little further away. I can hear them talking and just doing their thing. And I'm just thinking to myself, is he going to tell me to move or leave? Or am I done? I mean, why is he having me out here? Here I am, my big headedness again. Why am I out here? And the rest of them sitting over there in the corner. And, after about, I'll say, I don't know how long it was. It seemed like it was for like 15 minutes or so, 15, 20 minutes. He came back over there. And he sat down. He said, did you learn anything? And I was puzzled. Like, what am I supposed to learn? Like, he said, did you learn anything? Like, I was just sitting here, and I don't know what you mean. You learned, this is him, you learned how to sit down and think, and be calm. Was you able to hear me in the distance? Yeah, what was y'all talking about? No, Leoncy. Asked you a question. That's yes or no. Was you able to hear me? I didn't say what we were talking about. Was you able to hear me when we were talking? So yes, I heard you talking. He said, good. You learned your lesson. He said, when you get mad, when you get frustrated, when everything is coming at you, when you feel like you're losing your ground, when you're uncertain, when everything is distorted in your life, just sit down. Just sit down. Calm yourself and listen. You're going to find your answer. See, ladies and gentlemen, we are too busy fighting the trees in ourselves. We're too busy running around like rats, dogs, monkeys, chimpanzees, and gorillas. We don't give ourselves time when facts and reality come to us. See, I said it before and I'm going to say it again. Sometimes women that's why I said they have this problem. They can, and sometimes they do, but I've been giving RP for a long time. Okay, and I've accepted RP for a long time, and I hear other people with their RP content as well. Okay, and there's no such thing as a single woman per se. There's always going to be somebody in the shadow. If it's not, it's uncle, brother, dad, ex-boyfriend, this person across the street, or she goes to the store. It's going to be somebody there because the temptation is too great. Unlike men who struggle to get the same interest or attention that women get. Women get it on often, but the temptation is too great. It's almost like going on a fast. You're trying to, that's what they call it, trying to go without eating, diet, all day, just juice diet. And somebody sits next to you and they're eating fried chicken. Or they go to McDonald's and you smell that Big Mac burger. You don't even have to like it or eat it, but just the smell of it just ruins your fast. It ruins your diet because now you're going to be craving something of that measure when you leave. That's the same thing that a lot of women have to go through because there's always somebody trying to get at them. So their self-discipline is just a little bit harder because they get attention even if they don't want attention. I'm not saying they can't do it. I just know that the struggle is real. It's more real for them than it is for the average male. But we must achieve that in order to get to our higher plane of existence. To hear what is at the distance, to hear other people's voices besides our own, to hear knowledge besides what is before us. The trees was around me at the time. I didn't worry about the trees. It could have been, there was squirrels and animals and stuff, deers in the distance and things like that, leaves falling. But it was right there in front of me. But they could have been easy distractions as well. But just imagine those trees were people. Check this out. Just imagine those trees are people. And those people are around you, family, friend, wife, husband, job, all this stuff. They just always coming at you. Hey, 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 I need to, hey, and I need you, can you come, hey, let's go over here and we're going to go here today and, hey, and no, you can't do it. All the time. While at the distance, truth is being said. At the distance is something else different than what you have before you. And so what's difficult for, again, going back to the married man and those who bind themselves down to some type of strange commitment and contract, not to say that it's not happening. There's always exceptions to the rules. But the reality of it is they're right there in the middle of the forest in those trees, and other things are going on outside of that, which is hard for them to accept because they're too blinded by the trees that are in their face. So I noticed that this is one of the issues, especially when it's discussion of religion and relationships, and definitely religion, because a lot of them, I just told you, one of them was a minister, and he can't fathom. It's hard for him to see because he can only go by what's in front of him. And then when there's a debate or a conversation, it's always, well, the Bible said, the Quran said, this said, that said. And they can never get past what, this is deep. I need y'all to catch this one. Catch this arrow. Check this out. They can't get past the indoctrination or what someone else said or what the news in the media says or what's going on in the politician circles. They can't see past, or even their career or whatever else is around them, whatever they do religiously, they can't see past it because they don't allow themselves to see past it. To do that, they have to ignore what's going on around them. Now, that doesn't mean close your ears and be blinded towards it and, I'm just going to ignore people. No. That means you have to block out the insignificant distractions and the things that do not help you to reach your ear or to reach your higher self, to reach outer than that which is before you, which tethers to the complete understanding and comprehension of why I say programming is very devastating for the average person. Why I make my discussions often to be mindful and aware of the engineering that's being put before you and on you, because the whole program is to distract you. When you're distracted, you'll make bad decisions. You will flop. You will fail. You will adjust your lens based on the tree that's in front of you. You will adjust your vision only as far as that which is around you, which is distractions, like playing chess. On a chessboard, in order to get the king, what do you have to do? You have to rush him, as I call it. You got to surround him. You got to block him to where he cannot move. He can't go nowhere. He can't see past the other pieces that may have him pinned against the wall. So when you are looking at yourself in the mirror, when you are discussing with someone, always remember, sometimes they won't understand you because they're in a zone of loss. They're that trapped person who can only see as far as the trees. But if they remove the trees, if they remove themselves, or if they reach higher than that, they'll realize the world is a bigger place. Your knowledge is only a tenth of what it truly is. What you hear is only a tenth of the truth. What you see is only a tenth of your potential. And there are so many people who are stuck right there. Because if they are afraid, they are, listen, oh my God, oh, this is going to go too long. I'm not even going to go here. I'm going to have to cut this off because it's going to go longer than what I need it to be. Listen, they are afraid because those trees that are around them, which in this point is like people, family, wife, husband, establishment, job, fortification, whatever it is, they are afraid that if they are not surrounded by that thing and they staff out to reach the outer realms, the truth that is at a distance, because trust me, it's going to be at a distance. Let me say that again for some of you who are deaf. Trust me, truth is going to be at a distance. Because sometimes the best things in life and the best things for you aren't the things that are in front of you. They are at a distance. Because if you had them in front of you, how would the world play out? It's too much like right. Have you ever heard somebody say that before? It's too much like right. Why do they say that? Because it is too much like right. Right is always the things I told you before is abolished, disrespected, moved aside. Oh, that's not important. Let's not think about that. Let's cover that up. Let's put that underneath the rug. Because that's how we're operating in sickness. Because sickness makes somebody else rich. And so it's a comfort zone. And again, flipping back over to the females, women are social creatures. Women love the sense of security. Women love their friends. Even if their friends are chaotic, they still want to be with their friends. Their friends can steal their hat, their shoes, their boyfriend, and they'll still be like, that's my friend. And so they stay in the midst of the trees. They don't want to leave the trees, because if somebody's at the distance, it could be your Messiah standing out there. You can't hear his voice. He's sitting there trying to yell at you at the top of his voice and say, hey, listen to me. Listen to me. But she'll be standing in the middle of the trees and say, I can't go out there because I'm safer over here. I'm afraid to reach the unknown because I just don't know about it. Because I'm afraid. And then here we go. We tether to this thing called fear. Fear being tethered to emotions once again. And of course, most women's emotions are being written on by fear. Fear being used by, don't let me go there. Don't let me go there. Your vampires in a population that like to use women against their better will. So therefore, she would never, never, I'm not going to say never, I'm just saying it for the sake of the audio, so don't get upset. It just sounds good. That's why I'm using it. Okay. She would never reach that truth that's at a distance because she have to take a chance. Oh, she have to take a chance. She got to take a risk. She got to leave those trees or those distractions behind her and start marching forward. And that's when you grow, ladies and gentlemen. That's when you'll find your answer. That's when the healing begins. Because those people around you, if anything, there are distractions. They're stopping you from being where you need to be at, because truth ain't going to be around them. Your greatest aspect sometimes is outer of that environment that you are in. Sometimes you got to go to get what you need. You got to travel to get. Sometimes you got to do things you never done before. You got to reach that person that you never thought you would reach before. Sometimes you got to change your pace. Sometimes you got to put that book down and pick up another book on the far end of the shelf with dust on it that everybody told you, don't read that. That's cursed. Don't read. That's a bad book. Don't read that. No, that's the book that you should be reading. Because guess what I just said? They say. Who says? Who's saying this? It's a guarantee. It's just those trees that are around you. Because once you find your place, once you begin to advance, once you build up the confidence to say, I'm not going to bind myself down like this. There's more to be poured into my life. You're not going to stay limited. Your cup is going to overflow as it should. And while it's overflowing, other people of like-mindedness are requiring you and your knowledge because you've been there. You've reached out and you listen to the voice of reason and truth. While you are overflowing, the additional knowledge and water will be flowing into them as well. So therefore, it is vitally important that this audio is here. It's vitally important for me to discuss this with you. All for the smallest of things. You see how I started off in the beginning? I started off very, very, very simple. You know, grow up, get married, get a job, have some kids, be responsible, right? At the same time, what was the key? What was the key that I gave you? The key was knowing what you're getting yourself into and realize there is still more to go. When you accept that, then you are on the path of whatever that destiny is that you have accepted or created. Either you're going to, how can I put this? Oh my God. Either you're going to make your last stand of your existence right there amongst the trees and never reach out to challenge yourself or to understand life differently, or you'll say, okay, if I'm going to do this journey in life and reach the higher advancement of my mind, my spirit, and my body, I'm going to do so. But should I be in a relationship or should I get married, they're going to have to come with me. That means your companion or your companion is going to have to leave their mess behind as well. And if they want to stay back there, you should be like, okay, you stay back there. I need to keep growing. Sorry for your luck. I got to keep moving. I got to keep it moving because I don't want to be limited. There's other things in life for me to acquire. Oh my God, she turned from this religion to a different religion. What happened to her? Because she's seen something else in the distance. Or she's trying. Or the voice of reason was something that made sense. She shut down all the noise and heard something at the distance. And some of you who are trying to be funny, I'm not talking about the voice of the devil. Okay, so shut that down before you even begin. I'm talking about a higher aspect of yourself. This ain't the Garden of Eden. Okay? The Garden of Fools. No. To open up your mind and seek things that are higher than what is put before you, because what's put before you isn't made for you to advance. It's made for you to stay in a stasis, paralyzed, simpleton, redundant, and limited life. That's the way that a lot of your environment and organizations have been created. Because if you advance and you think higher than the normal or expected, then the chains can no longer be around your mind. The chains can no longer be around your spirit, and the chains can no longer be around your body, because you'll be going places and getting where you need to be, because there's more to life than the limitations that you accept. Do I make myself clear? And that is the lesson for the day in Academy of Wow, men, ladies and gentlemen. It is no, aggression to anyone. If you have a hard time understanding what I'm saying, it's very simple. I'm saying, why limit yourself and think you know everything when you are blinded by your environment? You're blinded by the traditions that you put before yourself, or you're blinded by your contracts that you put before your own self. Nobody told you to do it. You thought you should do it because of how the environment dictates it to you. There will be followers, there will be leaders. It's the same as there will be sheep, there will be shepherd. There will be modern day slaves, and there will be people who are willing to free themselves by the own choices that they make.